And, Your Honor, while the defendant may not ever again be an accountant, and may not ever again be a public official, and may never be entrusted with someone else's money, the problem here, Your Honor, is the lack of remorse.
A once powerful Republican lawmaker heads to prison for his role in a securities fraud case first brought to light by a Local 12 News investigation. Good evening, everyone. Today, Judge John Andrew West sentenced Pete Beck to serve 4 years in prison.
The judge also said there's virtually no chance Beck can repay any of the investors, so he did not order Beck to pay restitution. The massive fraud was first exposed by Rich Jaffe in October of 2012. Rich joins us now from the newsroom with a look at Beck's downfall. Rich?
Rob, Pete Beck walked out of court today a broken man. When we began looking into this case in the summer of 2012, he had been mayor of Mason. He was a sitting state representative and the head of one of the most powerful committees in Columbus, Ways and Means. The only time he ever talked openly about his role in this huge scam was in our exclusive interview. His silence during this trial could have been part of his downfall. Pete Beck sat stoically in court, knowing the sword of justice was dangling over his head. When the judge asked if he had anything to say, Beck declined, instead letting his attorneys and their sentencing memorandum speak for him. They told the judge that he had led a life of public service. His only real mistake was not asking enough questions about the companies he helped pitch to investors. Some of those investors watched the legal back and forth, all the while thinking about the life savings they lost because of Pete Beck. They and the prosecuting assistant attorney general thought the words they didn't hear from Beck, "I'm sorry." Beck's attorney said his client has been humbled by the trial and was only hoping for a sentence of community control.
An opportunity to continue his lifelong service to the community, an opportunity to begin making restitution to the victims, an opportunity to repay his debt to society without burdening society with incarceration costs.
Since this man, Your Honor, shows no remorse, since this man shows no regret, no shame, no apologetic thoughts whatsoever, you must issue the punishment. You must make him and others like him learn that this conduct, Your Honor, is simply not acceptable.
Beck's attorney asked for an appeal bond, which might have allowed Pete Beck to stay out of jail while the case is being appealed, but that didn't happen. After paying 3 years of legal bills, Beck has been declared indigent, but a civil suit by the investors against him and the others involved continues. It's expected that none of his co-conspirators will serve any time behind bars. However, they are all now convicted felons. Two of them, John Fussner and Chip DeMoy, will be sentenced on Tuesday. In the newsroom, Rich Jaffe, Local 12 News. Rob?
Rich, thanks very much. Our investigation into this case started with a husband and wife who were investors and lost a fortune. Coming up at 6 tonight, you'll hear from them about today's events.